Back. Last session we discussed a bit about your feelings regarding how much you maybe overthought your brother's wedding, um, and how it wasn't nearly as bad as you thought it would be. Um, so we didn't really get to discuss what you wanted to talk about today. Um, do you have anything in mind in specific?
Uh, no, I mean, I have a long week this week. I have my husband's going to be out of town Monday through Friday. He comes back Friday for work. He'll be in Louisiana, and so I'm going to be doing it on my own. I know my son has a big football game he'll be performing the band at on I think Tuesday, and um, I got a bunch of meetings at work that gotta get done. And then I do fly out on Saturday early, like 5 a.m. early. So to go see my girls. So
That's so exciting. So, is any of that like maybe a stressor for you?
uh, sometimes, I mean, especially just doing stuff, getting stuff ready, obviously to leave town, stuff like that can, get stressful. My husband and I are gonna basically play tag at the end of the week to swap roles of leaving, but all in all, no, I'm really looking forward to it. So um, I'm excited.
That is exciting. So tell me a bit about meeting up with your girls. What's gonna happen?
It's actually one of my daughters is dating a boy she's dated all throughout college. That it's his last football game, so we'll be doing that and going to that. And I'm super excited to see him, to watch that moment for him, and be able to hug my girls because I haven't seen them since the wedding, so it feels like it's been forever.
I take it you're quite close to your daughter's boyfriend then?
I am, yes. He's very sweet. I respect him a lot. I consider him a child of my own as well.
That's very exciting. So if it's his last game, then is he graduating?
He is. He'll be graduating. I think he's doing the last semester, and so he'll be graduating in the May. And my daughter is actually graduating in December, my oldest, and they're both gonna graduate together the May at the ceremony.
So how are you taking your daughter graduating? Sometimes it's a bit hard for a parent to um
It
to see
is,
their
and a lot
child
of
doing
baby
all of this.
steps are happening. I've kind of tried to take it in stride because it's been talked about for several months now. Um, she got a job offer, um, which we've known was possible, coming in Oklahoma, and she actually got it last week officially. So she will be moving from Indiana to Oklahoma very, very quick, actually, because she starts her job December 1st. So, right, the weekend of Thanksgiving, it's all kind of coming together. That has all been very stressful, I think. I mean, she's going to a whole new place and nobody knows anyone there. Obviously, there's not family there, there's nothing, but she loves Casa that she works for, loves Casa, and everybody with Casa in Indiana I know was incredible, and it sounds like they are in Oklahoma. Um, but her having to find a house, and then she did finally find a rent house, but then getting electricity and getting all that everything turned on and ready, especially being it's been a bit a lot going on there. And then obviously she doesn't have furniture. She doesn't. So you just keep piling on all these little stressors. But I'm trying to take it in stride, and she's doing really well managing her stress. So it makes it, I think, a little easier for me to not worry. She's like, I don't need anything but somewhere to sleep, right? And so she's handling all these things because it's a lot. There's just so much, it doesn't have a refrigerator and it doesn't, there's all these little things that seem really important to me, but she's taking it and she's like, it'll be fine. We'll do this for now and I'll get one. And if it's that easy for her then I need to not stress about it. And keep in mind, she'll be closer to me. There's a win.
That is a win. So if she's moving in and and it's stressing you out a little bit, would you say it's more so due to she's growing up and that's hard to take as a mother, or because you're just very concerned?
I mean, that's some of it. She's bright and she knows the real world and now, she's still learning. It's some of the we always laugh and say there are no stupid questions, even though sometimes with Brooklyn there are some stupid questions. But she's learning things, so that is stressful because she is on going to be on her own. So making all the right choices. Obviously, safety is the biggest thing that for me, just because she is female. She'll be there for a couple of weeks by herself
Mhm.
before her boyfriend is able to move. So that is a little nerve-wracking because we don't know the place real well. But I am glad over Thanksgiving I do get to go see it, kind of get a feel for the place, and I think that will make me feel hopefully more comfortable. My husband and I have been laughing because we decided that if we go and it's like in this horrible part of town and we feel like it's like not going to happen, we're she's going to end up in a hotel. And we don't know if there's even a hotel in this small town or what, but we're like, worst case scenario, she's in a hotel. So it's kind of our laughing joke, like, well, if it's horrible, we ain't letting her stay. So it's it's been funny, but I
Mhm.
think everybody's trying to take it with a grain of salt. Like it's gonna be
Mhm.
fine. It's all gonna work out. It's all gonna be good. So the mom part is that has been a little bit. I think just on. Don't think it's so much letting go as it is just worrying, which I would worry no matter where any of my kids are, but it's a worrying thing a little bit. And then it also leaves my other daughter in Indiana by herself at 18, which is, here comes the worry. I do love that she's getting to stay in the same apartment, the same place, the same comfort that we know, who her neighbors are, where her surroundings are. So that part makes me feel better. And she has people. And is doing really, really well in school. So I feel better all the way around. That it's going to be new challenges, so that each can. I think both will grow significantly as people throughout all of this, and it may be hard at times, but I hope they know that I am here and always a phone call away, or a jump on a flight or in a car if I need to be there. So that's the fun part about having adult children now is um, it may not be necessarily my responsibility, but I am still mom and I still worry and I get to be that person now instead of the one necessarily disciplining and all that stuff. I get to be the not I don't really want to say friend, but I get to be a different role as a mom and I'm learning how that looks now and it's
Mhm.
nice it's nice to be that.
No, and it's always going to be a transition when your children grow a little bit older and you have to grow out of the very caretaker role into something a bit more like I still care about you, but I want the best for you. And so it will take time to transition out of that role, I do believe. And I wouldn't say calling it a friend is terrible because once they get to a certain age, obviously it's not bad to be their friend. Perhaps if they were maybe 9 or 10, being their friend wouldn't be lovely because you still need to be that disciplinary and the caretaker. But as they get older, I do think it would be great if they're close to you like that too, rather than having to
Yes.
worry about you trying to constantly mother them and and take control of their life.
Very much agree. Yes, I do. And I still have that mother role with my son. He just turned 14 a few days ago. So I still have that. It's a very different parenting than, a 14-year-old boy, especially over the girls being adults and making their own choices. But I try to always let them make their decisions. So I will step in and say something, even if any of the kids don't like it, if I don't feel like it's the right path. But I do get to be a little different, definitely, with the girls than, you know, I have to ride Trenton all the time about, school or about his attitude or how he's talking or, spending his time or going to bed or this or that. So parenting is very different and almost exciting. It's almost like a reward at the end, just because it's a fun parenting once they get to be an adult. Not all the time, most of the time.
How would you say that you're taking understanding like these dual roles in your kids' lives?
Sometimes I'll get it right all the time, but I definitely learning still throughout it. Um, there's times I try to sit back and go, it, it's not my life and it's not my choice, and is it really something to argue with? Are they in danger, or is it gonna put them in or is this horrible for their future? Otherwise, it doesn't matter, if they. That was a big thing when she was finding a house. My opinion shouldn't have mattered. It was
Mhm.
her place, her
Mhm.
style, uh, how far she wanted to be from her job, like all these things. And so I had to constantly remind myself of that. Now, if I felt like she was going to a terrible city or like, there's tornadoes all throughout Oklahoma. She was looking at some mobile homes, and I wasn't real thrilled about that. So I let her know just for peace of mind of that. But she ended up with a house. So that worked. But, there's few times that I step in, and then there's a lot of times that I have to tell myself it's fine. They are going to have their own opinions and their own feelings, or and it's not going to follow the same cookie cutter shape that maybe I would have done. But
Mhm.
is it hurting anything? No, it's not.
No, it's always great to be able to take a step back and think like that because there are times where a parent may not want to have their kid make the same mistakes that they did, but sometimes the kid just has to know, okay, I shouldn't do that in the future, rather than just being told, hey, don't do that. That could have some bad impact on your life. So it is always great to be able to step back and realize some mistakes must be made. They have to live and learn. Uh, Especially with you being concerned about your daughter and still stepping back and being like, okay, personally, maybe not a mobile home in a tornado area, but but that's just expressing concern for safety.
Yeah. It's all for her to decide, and I can only give advice on things like the mobile home, or the how much I think she can afford in rent, or not to go, but those type of decisions. But other than that, it's you're gonna have to work through it little by little.
No, that is great, and that's huge progress as a parent to be able to understand and take a step back and not overstep in your children's lives, especially when they're just getting old enough to make these decisions. I mean, there are many parents who probably overstep just out of concern, and it leads these kids to not being able to make their own decisions. So it's great that you're giving them their options and their chances. So it's always great. And then being there just in case something goes wrong to be like, I am here. You're not alone.
is still very much a learning game, but we're trying.
No, that's great. So we've bounced about from topic to topic today, a bit everywhere. But one of our main discussions has been your children and visiting and worrying and perhaps taking on a dual identity as a parent and stepping back from that, like not completely, because that will always be a part of you, but realizing when you need to take a step back and let your kids live their lives. Um, so perhaps in this next session, is there anything that you've got like weighing on your mind currently that you want to talk about, or any upcoming events that you think you may want to talk about after?
I think I'll be um, hopefully visiting the girls when I'm doing this on the next one. And then I'm sure there'll be all new challenges. It seems like every week I get new ones, but one by one we work through them. So I think it will probably be kid involved in some shape or form, whether that be teenage life or moving across states or what it is. But
Mhm.
it will probably go in that direction because that's real big in what's happening in this month that's to come.
Maybe in this next session we can talk about a bit how you're taking your children being so far from you, especially like almost settling down for a longer period of time so far.
Yeah,
And maybe some concerns you may have, some stressors, and maybe some ways that you can go over that and perhaps mitigate them.
I like it.
Yep.
I like it. That'll be perfect.
Alrighty. Then I will
Uh,
see you in this next one. Thank you for coming.
thank you. Bye.